Attention, Mountaineer family. The commencement ceremony is about to begin. At this time, please locate the nearest emergency exit. Please silence your cell phones, tablets, and electronic devices and turn your attention to the outstanding students who are the focus of this day. This is their moment to shine, so please give them and their many accomplishments your full attention. Now, let's get ready to welcome our graduates.
Today, we honor West Virginia University's 2019 May graduates, 149 years after Marmaduke H. Dent became the university's first graduate and alumnus. Please welcome West Virginia University's School of Pharmacy candidates for graduation, led by Student Marshal Amy Elizabeth Kennedy and Class of 2019 Advisor, Dr. Werner Gildenhuis. And now, please welcome members of the Platform Party. Dr. William Petros, Dean and the Gates Wigner Endowed Chair. Dr. Lisa Salati, Assistant Vice President for Health Science, Graduate Education and Professor, Department of Biochemistry. Dr. Douglas Slane, Professor and Chairman of Clinical Pharmacy. Dr. Suresh Madhavan, Professor and Chairman, Pharmaceutical Systems and Policy. Dr. Usha Sambamurthy, Professor, Pharmaceutical System and Policy. Dr. Mary Stamatakis, Professor and Senior Associate Dean of Academic Affairs and Educational Innovation. Dr. Marina Galvez, Assistant Professor and Assistant Chair for Teaching, Pharmaceutical Sciences. Dr. John Wheatholder, Clinical Associate Professor, Clinical Pharmacy. Dr. Louise Veselicki, Associate Vice President for Health Science, Center Academic Affairs. Dr. Charles Ponte, University Marshal and Professor of Clinical Pharmacy. And Dr. Clay Marsh, Vice President and Executive Dean for Health Sciences. Please rise for the singing of our national anthem and remain standing for the alma mater performed by Michelle Smith. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. You may be seated as I welcome Dean William Petros to the podium.
Good afternoon. I'm William Petros, Dean of the WVU School of Pharmacy. And on behalf of the faculty and staff of the school, I'm honored to welcome you, the class of 2019, your loved ones and guests, to this very special occasion. Commencement is a joyous time to recognize your academic achievements over the past several years as the term commencement applies. It is more than just a celebration of the exciting opportunities that lie ahead rather than a graduation of what you've already done. Make no mistake that the faculty and staff are extremely proud of you, and we're eager to see how you will change the world. It's also important for us to recognize the many people in your lives who've helped launch you into the profession. So let's be sure to thank your families and loved ones for all they've done to help you reach this day. Now, before I get started, I would also like to thank, last but not least, and acknowledge our faculty and those of our faculty, most of which are here today, and also people who've precepted students on rotations. Their extremely hard work is reflective in your excellent education, and they're very proud of you, as I said, but we rely on them not only to teach, but to do innovative and impactful research and to provide service to our state. So thank you, faculty. Now, many of you know exactly what you're going to be doing professionally, at least as an initial step in your careers. Some are still deciding that first step. While there are numerous WVU School of Pharmacy alumni who've had wonderful careers focused in one area of practice, your degree opens the door for a diverse array of opportunities. Thus, you might not spend the next 86,000 hours of your work life in the same job. And yes, 86,000 hours is the average amount of time between now and your retirement. You know, some of us think we've worked double that already, right? Perhaps your greatest challenge going forward is to find the area which will be most rewarding to you and beneficial to society in general, consistent with the roots of your degree from a land-grant institution. Be open to opportunities. The very best jobs are the ones which are not widely advertised, but ones perhaps created because someone believes in you or you believe in yourself. I've had the opportunity to practice in many areas of pharmacy, such as institutional hospital pharmacy, community pharmacy, outpatient clinics, poison center, and pharmaceutical industry. However, I spent most of my career as an academic-based clinical cancer researcher. About the time that you were starting your P1 year, our Vice President for Health Sciences, Dr. Clay Marsh, surprised me by asking me if I would be interim director of the WVU Cancer Institute. His confidence in me provided me with self-assurance to make some major changes that successfully moved the Institute in new directions. Little did I know that such experiences would inspire me to be standing here with you today as the first alumni to be dean of our School of Pharmacy in its 105-year history. So don't be fearful of challenges and believe in yourselves. And I hope one of you someday will be standing at this podium as dean of our school. Now, some of you have already functioned as class officers or leaders in our professional organizations. The faculty certainly appreciated your service. However, the profession and/or the community that you will serve as pharmacists will call each of you to lead in the same way. One owner of a regional chain of pharmacies once told me that leadership skills were the most important traits that she looked for when interviewing for pharmacy positions. Now, many of you will be going into community practice where you'll often be looked at as the most accessible healthcare provider, one of the most educated and the most influential in the community. In rural areas, your role may be more akin to a shepherd, helping to triage patients' medical problems. This is particularly important in today's ridiculous and confusing world of direct-to-consumer advertisement of prescription drugs. I once was interviewing a student for admission to the School of Pharmacy, and I asked him to give me just a few words that described himself. And the first words out of his mouth were trustworthy, loyal, and helpful. Well, those three words immediately labeled him in my mind. Any guesses as to how that labeled him? I might have heard it. Those are the first words at the beginning of the Boy Scout law. In fact, as suspected, he was an Eagle Scout, or is an Eagle Scout. It's a lifelong trait. So while contemplating what I wanted to say to you today, I thought you will be probably quickly forget most of my words, particularly since I'm torturing you with most of them, but you might recall a theme. And the theme I'm going to use is the Boy Scout law. And we're going to need to template this guide to your future careers in pharmacy. So the Boy Scout law talks about 12 traits as a scout. It says that scouts trustworthy, loyal, helpful, etc. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit on pharmacist is trustworthy, loyal, etc. as I go forward. So first, a pharmacist is trustworthy. Gallup polls of the public have consistently ranked pharmacists amongst the country's top professionals in terms of honesty and ethical standards. A pharmacist is loyal. Be loyal to your classmates. Your bonds, initiated as students, can be lifelong and sometimes even include marriage, as in the case of my wife Karen and me. Despite long distances and differing jobs, some of my best mentors are old classmates, and I continue to stay in touch. In fact, I was texting a couple of them just this morning. A pharmacist is helpful. You've collectively done a tremendous amount of volunteer work, as students in our community and elsewhere. approaching your profession as a service to others will be more rewarding than monetary compensation. John Gordon said, "We don't get burned out because of what we do. We get burned out because we forget why we do it." A pharmacist is friendly. Part of the interview process we do to select you as students involves the perception of your ability to interact with diverse types of people. Working well with others will take you far in your career. A pharmacist is courteous and kind. Do you know of any selfish people that are happy? You'll find many opportunities to practice these attributes if you keep your eyes and your heart open to be courteous and kind. A pharmacist is obedient. Pharmacists are often held to high standards for abiding by laws to protect the public from harm. A pharmacist is cheerful. Most of you had smiles on your face coming in today, so I look forward to that. Those few of you were a little scared, I guess. But this does go a long way in helping people recover and feeling better about their health. Or as Lou Holtz puts it, another West Virginian by birth, don't tell everyone your problems, because 90% of the people don't care, and the other 10% are kind of glad you have them. A pharmacist is thrifty. Keep a keen eye on patients who might be struggling with medication costs. You'll be in the best place to discuss resolutions with the prescriber, as patients are oftentimes hesitant to bring those up. A pharmacist is brave. You will have to fight battles for the benefit of patients, often unbeknownst to them and regardless of any monetary award to you. And finally, a pharmacist is clean and reverent. The definition of reverent is feeling or showing deep or solemn respect. Respect the profession and your roles in it. Now, you have the opportunities to advance pharmacy practice, conduct clinical research, improve healthcare management, etc. With any change comes the chance and almost expectation of failure before success. One trait that is left out of the Boy Scout law is persistence. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he came up with the right formula for the light bulb. And as many of the scientific colleagues in our school will tell us, is that failure is part of progress, not the final result. So don't be afraid of failure, for you cannot have success without it. So it's my firm belief that the profession you're entering will evolve rapidly in the next decade and beyond. You've learned many skills to facilitate success in the future, but your ability to best utilize them will require some persistence on your part. So let me summarize by saying you come from all regions of West Virginia, 8 other states, 1 other country, various ethnicities and backgrounds. Some of you are the first in your families to attend college, but you've been united by this university, this school, and now the profession of pharmacy. So never forget your home amongst the hills, as we will always be here to encourage your professional growth, commiserate in not-so-good times, and celebrate your successes. So now, it's certainly my honor and pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Rachel Alexandria Kohler. Lexi is a native of Morgantown and valedictorian of this year's PharmD class, and she will deliver the commencement address.
Thank you, Dean Petros, for the introduction. This highly anticipated ceremony is not only the official end of our scholastic pursuits, but also the official start of our careers as healthcare providers. On August 17th, 2015, our very first day of pharmacy school, we were given the advice to enjoy the adventurous road that lie ahead of us, as the next 4 years will be gone in the blink of an eye. While sitting through a 3-hour class, or studying late at night for a neurology, pain, or even a law exam, I wasn't quite sure I actually agreed with the advice I had been given. It wasn't until today, exactly 1,300 63 days later, that I fully comprehend just how quickly 4 years can fly by. We all come from different walks of life. We come from different cities, different states, and even different countries. But we have all come to a common place with a common goal. Today, we celebrate achieving that goal. I am proud to share this accomplishment, and I am truly honored for this opportunity to address my class, faculty, family members, and friends who have come here today to join in this celebration. Alexander Hamilton said it best: "No one ever accomplishes anything in this life on his or her own." Parents, grandparents, family members, and friends, those present and those who are unable to physically be here, you share in our accomplishments through your unwavering love and commitment. Thank you for your unconditional support, guidance, and encouragement. We share the stage with you on one of the biggest days of our lives. Now, no commencement speech would be complete without offering a few pieces of advice. So who am I to break from this tradition? Most of us have been in an academic setting now for 18+ consecutive years. And while I am very proud of everything I have learned in pharmacy school, I can't help but think of the words of Robert Fulham, who said, "All I really need to know, I learned in kindergarten." His top 5 life lessons are: number 1, share everything. Number 2, play fair. Number 3, don't hit people. Number 4, you gotta clean up your own mess. And number 5, my personal favorite, wash your hands. That's true wisdom for a 5-year-old right there. As we proudly display and put our doctorate degrees to use, let's not lose sight of the valuable lessons we've learned in kindergarten. Choose to be happy, choose to be kind. People may fail to remember the exact words that you said to them, but they will always remember exactly how you made them feel. One of the biggest struggles my generation faces today is the ability to be present. Too often we are fixated on something such as social media or even the computer screen, reviewing patients' charts or looking up drug-related information. We often take for granted that there is so much to be learned from simply looking up, acknowledging others, and listening to them. Every patient just wants his or her story to be heard. It is our job starting today, as we transition from students to practitioners, to listen to each patient, listen to their stories in order to individualize patient care. Every patient is worthy and deserving of your undivided attention and presence. While we can always substitute generic for brand name medications, there is no substitution for listening. While the present is the only place we are allowed to live, the future is the best place to prepare for. By earning your degree today, you have not only prepared for the future, but rather paved the road ahead of you. The only limit as to where that paved road will take you is the limit you impose upon yourself. I challenge you today to go out and practice and prepare for the future with a passion for continuous improvement and facilitating change. Albert Einstein said, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change." Sharing the stage with my fellow PharmD graduates today are the PhD graduates from the School of Pharmacy. These graduates have been extensively trained in research, which is an abstract idea of the present that establishes the foundation of tomorrow. It is through research that we can change the lives of patients and initiate the change the world so desperately needs. WVU's commitment to research and pharmacy-related sciences solidifies its position as a top pharmacy school in the country. Both the PharmD and PhD graduates will have a profound impact on the entire world. Not only will we add researchers in academia in the pharmaceutical industry, as well as professionals in the field of pharmacy this year, but WVU placed the second highest percentage of initial pharmacy residency placements among all pharmacy schools nationwide. This demonstrates that WVU is second to none, or maybe just in this case, second to one. But hey, either case, without the exceptional faculty and staff, WVU would only be bricks and mortar. I would like to personally thank Dean Petros, Dr. Stamatakis, Dr. Euler, Ms. Jen Cluther, Ms. Brenda Higa, Ms. Krista Curry, our class advisor, Dr. Gildenhides, and the rest of the faculty members at the School of Pharmacy. You have all passed on years of professional practice and knowledge. Please know that we will do our very best to always make you proud. Your commitment and dedication to educating and inspiring the next generation of pharmacists vibrantly shines through in all that you do. Thank you. I would also like to thank my classmates for allowing me the opportunity to get to know them over the past 4 years and for always making class and life fun. I would also like to personally congratulate each of you. We went through uncharted territory together by being the first class to complete a new curriculum. There were certainly difficult moments throughout, but each one of you persevered and conquered. Well done. Last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank our patients. You inspire us to get out of bed in the morning and use our hard-earned degrees with a purpose. While every graduate here today will ultimately find their own pathway throughout his or her professional career, we will all continue to have one common goal that will forever link us: provide the patient with the best possible care. Congratulations, class of 2019. I wish each of you every happiness in life. And remember, once a mountaineer, always a mountaineer. Thank you.
Very nice, Lexi. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all of you. As was done for many years, we are once again combining the investiture and degree conferral for all programs housed in the School of Pharmacy. These include the Doctor of Philosophy degrees in both pharmaceutical and pharmacological sciences and health services and outcomes research, and followed by the Doctor of Pharmacy degree. Dr. Lisa Salati, Assistant Vice President for Graduate Education and Professor in the Department of Biochemistry, will be presenting the PhD candidates immediately after this musical arrangement of Simple Gifts.
Tis the gift to be simple, tis the gift to be free, tis the gift to come down where you want to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where you want to be.
Good afternoon. We now recognize our PhD candidates and graduates in the School of Pharmacy by investing of the Doctor of Philosophy hoods. This academic year we have 4 graduates. We will be hooding 3 of these today. Rashmi Goyat is from Delhi, India. Her research advisor is Dr. Suresh Madhavan. The title of her dissertation is The Impact of Comorbidities on Diabetes and Hypertension, Co-Management, and Healthcare Expenditures. Drishti Rajesh Shah is from Mumbai, India. Her research advisor is Dr. Usha Sambamurthy. The title of her dissertation is Predictors and Health Outcomes of Treatment-Resistant Depression Among Adults with Chronic Non-Cancer Pain Conditions and Major Depressive Disorder. Xiaowei Zhou is from Nanjing, Jiangsu Province, China. Her research advisor is Dr. Usha Sambamurthy. The title of her dissertation is Adoption and Impact of the Telemental Health on Healthcare Outcomes in the United States. I now ask our 3 PhD candidates to rise. I also invite any scientists and researchers, both in the audience and on stage, to also rise for the reciting of the ethical affirmation of scientists. This affirmation should play an important part in the lives of our graduates. Your conduct as researchers and scientists must be above reproach. You must steel yourself against any suggestion of dishonesty or ethical transgression. Now, more than ever, the competition to succeed can pressure behavior that we would regret. Hold the words of the affirmation in your mind as you move forward in your careers. This affirmation originated with this campus. It's now used by several universities around the country. It was written by our faculty, Drs. Robert Craig, Ann Cather, and James Culbertson. Its publication in the journal Science in 2003 brought international recognition to our university. Please repeat after me. As I embark on my career as a scientist, I willingly pledge that I will honorably represent my scientific profession that I will conduct my research and my professional life in a manner that is always above reproach, and that I will seek to incorporate the body of ethics and moral principles that constitute scientific integrity into all that I do. I will always strive to ensure that the results of my research and other scientific activities ultimately benefit humanity and that they cause no harm. With this affirmation, I pledge to acknowledge and honor the contribution of scientists who have preceded me, to seek truth in the advancement of knowledge in all my work, and to become a trustworthy role model deserving of respect by those who follow me. Thank you. Be seated.
I now present the PharmD candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for graduation from the West Virginia University School of Pharmacy. I would ask the platform party members to take their position. The history of academic regalia can be found in the program. However, not included in this description is the information about the colorful cords our students and faculty wear. I would like to briefly comment on these cords so you can get a sense of the achievements our students and faculty have accomplished. Blue and gold for University Latin Honors, gold for University Honors Scholars, green and gold for Phi Lambda Sigma Leadership Honorary Society, purple and white for Rho Chi Academic Honors Society, the light blue cord for superior achievements to the American Pharmacists Association Academy of Student Pharmacists, red and gray cords for contributions to the Kappa Psi Professional Fraternity, light blue and gold for Lambda Kappa Sigma Fraternity, maroon and gold, the Industry Pharmacy Organization, dark blue, the National Community Pharmacy Association. And then we would also like to recognize graduates and faculty who have served the nation with valor and sacrifice. The red, white, and blue cord is worn by these individuals as a tribute to their selfless service. We also honor all those present today who have served. Please stand so we can thank you for your service and dedication and the commitment you have given to our country. And now, Nkechieram Victoria Agbarenike, Washington, D.C., cum laude. Shelby, oh, we're not. Shelby Catherine Anderson, Lost Creek, West Virginia. Jeffrey Todd Arthur, Parkersburg, West Virginia. Jeffrey is receiving a Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award. Adugo Chinahota Azunwu, Morgantown, West Virginia. Tyler Allen Bailey, Kenna, West Virginia, cum laude. Tyler completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Casey Shannon Bardsley, Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. Casey completed the clinical pharmacy practice area of emphasis. Rebecca Samuel Berhanu. Morgantown, West Virginia. Assisting with her hooding is her mother, Dr. Sebla Hailu, West Virginia School of Pharmacy, class of 2000. Jeffrey Daniel Bevel, Nimitz, West Virginia. Stephanie Elizabeth Bills, Ridgely, West Virginia. Jessica Dawn Booth, Morgantown, West Virginia. Adam Michael Brenneman, Accident, Maryland, cum laude. Adam completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Simone Brooks, Martinsburg, West Virginia. Kelsey Meredith Berner, Morgantown, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Kelsey is receiving a James K. Lim Pharmacy Academic Achievement Award. Alexandria Ruth Castricane, Ronkonkoma, New York. Alexandria completed the Global Health for Pharmacy area of emphasis. Jia Chen, Blairsville, Pennsylvania. Jia completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Carrie Ann Clutter, Moundsville, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Carrie is receiving a James K. Lim Pharmacy Academic Achievement Award. Megan Dawn Collins, New Cumberland, West Virginia. Paul Cornelius, Toronto, Ontario, cum laude. Paul completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Brandon Douglas Davis, Fairmont, West Virginia, cum laude. Stephen Michael Douglas, Lansville, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Stephen completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Alexandra Marie Earl, Fairmont, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Assisting with her hooding is her mother, Dr. Gwendolyn Stodd, West Virginia University School of Pharmacy, class of 2012. Alexandra is receiving a Dean's Volunteer Service Award, and she also completed the Global Health for Pharmacy area of emphasis. Emily Mae Fox, Glendale, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Lindsay Teresa Gavin, Westchester, Pennsylvania. Justin Anthony Gregory. Oh, Greggy, I'm sorry. Justin Anthony Gregory. Greggy, North Cambria, Pennsylvania, summa cum laude. Justin completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Jacob Allen Gregory, Murraysville, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Jacob completed the clinical pharmacy practice area of emphasis. Brett Allen Harmon, Falling Waters, West Virginia. Assisting with his hooding is his mother, Mrs. Peggy Harmon, Howard University, College of Pharmacy, class of 1993, and his brother, Dr. Andrew Harmon, West Virginia University School of Pharmacy, class of 2017. Joshua Harmon, Parkersburg, West Virginia. Josh completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Courtney Nicole Hartman, Brandywine, West Virginia, cum laude. Hunter Gavin Highlander, Hurricane, West Virginia. Assisting with his hooding is his grandfather, Mr. Bob Pedley, West Virginia University School of Pharmacy, class of 1970. Joshua Benjamin Hill, Norfolk, Virginia, magna cum laude. Ben is receiving the Walters Kluwer Clinical Drug Information Award for Excellence in Clinical Communication. He also completed the college teaching area of emphasis. Ryan Patrick Hotlotz, Bridgeport, Ohio. Aaron Taylor Hutchins, Wheeling, West Virginia, cum laude. Aaron is receiving a James K. Lim Pharmacy Academic Achievement Award, and he also completed the Clinical Pharmacy Practice Area of Emphasis. Clayton Cole Irvine, Green Bank, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Clayton is receiving a Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award, and Clayton also completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Michael Patrick Keck, Jr., Lancaster, Pennsylvania, magna cum laude. Amy Elizabeth Kennedy, Parkersburg, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Amy is receiving a James K. Lim Pharmacy Academic Achievement Award, and Amy completed the Clinical Pharmacy Practice Area of Emphasis. Rachel Alexandra Kolar, Morgantown, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Lexi is receiving a Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award and also completed the Clinical Pharmacy Practice Area of Emphasis. Dina Marie Ludovici, Newcastle, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Dina is the recipient of the APHA ASP Senior Recognition Certificate, and she also completed the Pharmacy Research Area of Emphasis. Sarah Elizabeth Lyons, Weirton, West Virginia. Eugenia Espina Macrocostas, Weirton, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Assisting with her hooding is her father, Mr. James Macrocostas, West Virginia University School of Pharmacy, class of 1982. Eugenia completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Ashley Marie Martin, Fairmont, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Ashley is receiving a Dean's Volunteer Service Award. Ryan Andrew Martin, Philippi, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth McCarthy, Bridgeport, West Virginia, summa cum laude. Lauren is receiving a Dean's Outstanding Achievement Award and also completed the Clinical Pharmacy Practice and the Geriatric Pharmacy Area of Emphasis. Andrew Stephen Miller, Swanton, Maryland, magna cum laude. Andrew completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Robert Logan Moneypenny, Weston, West Virginia. Bethany Nicole Moore, Monongah, West Virginia. Bethany completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Tyler Joseph Nagy, Morgantown, West Virginia, cum laude. Lori Diane Neely, Kingwood, West Virginia. Frank August Oley Jr., Highland Heights, Ohio, cum laude. Frank completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Lindsay Loris Orton, Westchester, Pennsylvania, summa cum laude. Lindsay is receiving a James K. Lim Pharmacy Academic Achievement Award. Madison Victoria Postlewaite, Williamstown, West Virginia, cum laude. Madison completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Lauren Brooke Ray, Wheeling, West Virginia. Lauren completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Corey James Ritter, Elkins, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Assisting with his hooding is his father, Mr. James Ritter, West Virginia University School of Pharmacy, class of 1983. Corey completed the geriatric pharmacy area of emphasis. Haley Rochelle Rocha, Aurora, West Virginia. Olivia Ann Rockwell, Washington, D.C., magna cum laude. Olivia completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Emily Elizabeth Rossi, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Emily completed the geriatric certificate in gerontology, the graduate certificate. Brooke Ellen Sanders, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, magna cum laude. Mark Sarlo, Morristown, New Jersey. Mark completed the PharmD MBA dual degree. Haley Brooke Seville, Purgattsville, West Virginia, cum laude. Lei Shua, New York, New York. Samira Dawn Samazzi, Clarksburg, West Virginia. Brandon John Staley, Morgantown, West Virginia. Brandon completed the graduate certificate in gerontology. Paige Erin Stubna, Morgantown, West Virginia, cum laude. Paige completed the college teaching area of emphasis. Mary Caitlin Taylor, Huntersville, North Carolina. Assisting with her hooding is her father, Mr. Kenneth Taylor, West Virginia University School of Pharmacy, class of 1992. Patricia K. Trippett, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Evan Samuel Turco, Greensburg, Pennsylvania, cum laude. Catherine Elizabeth Vecchio, Morgantown, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Matthew Paul Whiteman, Bridgeport, West Virginia, magna cum laude. Matt is receiving a Dean's Volunteer Service Award and also completed the Graduate Certificate in Gerontology. Michaela Nicole Wickline, Linside, West Virginia, cum laude. Michaela is the recipient of the Mylan Excellence in Pharmacy Award and also completed the Graduate Certificate in Gerontology. Thomas Zachary Wisman, Jerry, New York, magna cum laude. And Ryan James Zabrowski, Greensburg, Pennsylvania, summa cum laude. Let's give one more round of applause for all of the members of the class of 2019. I now invite Dr. Werner Gildenhuis, Associate Professor, Pharmaceutical Sciences and Class Advisor for the class of 2019, to lead the candidates in the oath of the pharmacist.
Well, good afternoon. I would like to ask the class of 2019 to please rise and raise your right hand. If there are any other pharmacists in the audience or who would like to take the oath with us today, or any faculty, please rise and raise your right hand and repeat after us. I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and the relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for my patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession: moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with a full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public.
I would now like to invite Dr. Clay Marsh, the Vice President and Executive Dean for West Virginia WVU Health Sciences, to the podium to provide closing remarks and the conferral of degrees.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, very good. We're here for a great occasion. And Dean Petros told me I should limit my comments to 60 minutes or so. Is that okay? That would be cruel. So I want to talk about something academic here at the very end: Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones is an exemplar of what Joseph Campbell, who was a mythologist who taught at Sarah Lawrence College, described as the hero's journey. And in fact, I'm going to argue that in our own ways, we're all on the hero's journey. And the hero's journey really is about a very predictable progression of pathways and learnings that heroes do throughout history. And that goes back from Native American Indians to Greeks to Star Wars, which George Lucas got inspired to do after reading this book that Joseph Campbell wrote called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And I'm going to talk to our graduates, but because they're there, I'm going to face this way. But I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to you guys too. So I'm going to talk about very briefly the hero's journey that we're all on, and maybe some advice that would help all of us to live longer and live better. So as we initiate the hero's journey, we go from being a small, insignificant sort of part of the world. Think Dorothy in Kansas. Think Harry Potter abandoned by his parents who were killed by Lord Voldemort. Think about Luke Skywalker, who is stuck in a desert place with step-parents. And then something happens and people wake up. And the wake-up period really then starts them on an adventure. And I think that one of the things that's really important to start off with is that it turns out that we live longer and better if we can look at the issues and challenges that come up in our life as adventures versus look at as problems. So the lens that we look through becomes really important to define our health. It turns out that today in the United States, a Nobel Prize winner named Sir Angus Deaton found that people 45 to 55 years old, non-Hispanic Caucasians, high school education or less, are dying at a rate unprecedented since the peak of the AIDS epidemic. And you might ask, what are they dying of? Well, it turns out they're dying of despair and hopelessness. They're dying because they feel like they're just an insignificant speck on the beach of our lives. And the poet Rumi, the Sufi poet Rumi said very wisely back in the 12th century, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. And so as we look at our frame, we know that the hero's journey that we're all on really is not a journey without, but is instead a journey within, a journey to refine the parts of ourselves that have been fragmented. Cigna Insurance Company did a study on 20,000 of their members, no, 200,000 of their members, and they gave a loneliness index. And guess what was the loneliest part of the population that they were able to measure? 18 to 22-year-old young people. Whoa. And I think that in a world where we feel that we're battling all the time, we're competing, we have to earn more, do more, just to keep up, where the goal is to win and not to help, we should look and remember that every ecosystem in nature that thrives by cooperation, not by competition. We should also remember that the average lottery winner is less happy than the average person. Now, some people say, give me a shot at that. I'll bear that unhappiness if need be, but nonetheless, that's true. And the average person who survives a life-threatening illness is happier than the average person because they understand the true priceless gifts that we have. So a scientist in the Huffington Post did a study and asked the question, what are the odds against you being you sitting there listening to me and all the other speakers? Now you might say, whatever it is, it doesn't matter because it's been too long, but nonetheless, turns out it's 10 to the 2,640,000th power. 10 times 10 times 10. 2,640,000 times. That's a very long odds against you being there alive. And although statistically impossible, there you are. So maybe the idea on our adventure, on our journey, on our hero's journey is back to what we heard from our first speaker, from our student speaker, about the rules we learned in kindergarten, that we should have good friends, that we should look at our life as filled with great adventures, that we shouldn't be so hard on each other, but we should have fun with each other. We should look at each other like a mirror versus like a warrior competitor. We should apply the golden rule. Treat others the way that we would want somebody that we loved or ourselves to be treated. And in fact, that's the baseline driver of about 15 of the world's large religions. And so as we go through our hero's journey, as Dorothy did in The Wizard of Oz, we eventually find out that indeed we had all we needed the whole time. We just didn't realize it. So at the end of our hero's journey is really the recognition that we are indeed whole, that we have all the priceless gifts inside of us. And interestingly, the root word of health is hal, H-A-L. It's the same root word of holy, the same root word of heal, and it means whole. So most of us feel very fragmented and separated. In fact, the author Sam Quinones, who wrote the best book about the opioid epidemic in our country, I believe, said he thought the key driver of the opioid epidemic was loneliness, was separation. So coming back together in communities, coming back together with ourselves may be the cure. So I'm going to argue to you and to you guys that part of your hero's journey is not just to heal others, but is to follow simple airline safety instructions. Put the mask on yourself first before you put it on somebody else. And I think that for all of us, we have the ability to see life as we choose to. At the end of our life, you probably won't worry about doing the next project at work. You'll probably want to take the next walk outside, or have the next meal with your family, or be able to see the people that you love, or do the things that you care about. Those things we can do today and almost never appreciate it, but they are indeed the miracles that we have, the priceless gifts that are inside of us that can't be replaced with any money once they're gone. So parents and new graduates, it now is game time. Graduates, please stand. This is a good part. About time, right. Now, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the West Virginia University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Parents, family members, friends, faculty, staff, please join me in recognizing the newest graduates of West Virginia University, the School of Pharmacy class of 2019.
Graduates, please remain standing. We will release you in an orderly fashion after the platform party and faculty exit the stage.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like the breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Missed a taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hours. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday, Lord, yesterday. Country roads take me home to the place